Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with a general reading for the sign of Capricorn for May 2025. In this reading, we're going to be focusing on your healing journey. So I'm going to be pulling 4 cards from the Heal Yourself deck card. They call them reading cards, oracle cards. They're from Ina Segal. And then for those 4 cards, I'm going to look at your past situation. What's the origin of it? So it's the origin of the situation that you're sitting in. And so card 2 is going to tell me where you're presently sitting and what you need to focus on. And then card 3 will tell me the future. So the possibilities of a future outcome for you. And then finally card 4 is going to give me an overall message for you. Something that you need to understand. And so it'll be a message from the tarot for sure. And then I'm going to pull 4 main cards from the Ehrenberg Tarot. And I'm going to clarify that with the Radiant Rider-Waite. All right. So I'll be pulling a lot of cards as I go along. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll set it up beforehand. But this time we're going to try to, I'm being called sort of to do it as we go along. So I've shuffled all the cards before I came on. And so let's pull right now the 4 cards, the 4 main cards, well, the healing deck cards, right? So let's start off with Capricorn's origin of their situation, the origin of the situation that they're sitting in, so their past. So let's have 1 card for that. Now, if one of these cards comes upside down for these deck cards, it means it's something that you really need to focus on in the next, 7 to 30 days, actually, is written in the book. So it's something that you really need to take a look at. So let's see what card you get for the origin. I was shaking these before I came on. I was like, they all came out fine. So this time it's like, oh, we're not going to talk. There we go. Woo, almost went off the table. You have temptation in reverse for your origin. Where are you at and what do you need to focus on presently? So this is your present card. You have letting go. And finally over here for your future. Shouldn't say finally, but I'm just going to pick the 1 card when I turn it over. You have discover your life purpose in reverse. That looks like that's something that's needing some attention for you for sure. And then finally at the bottom, I'm going to look at the overall message right here that the tarot is going to have for us. So the universe wants to tell you, Capricorn. And you have victim consciousness. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a main card for each one from the tarot before I get into the clarifier. So let me do that and then I'll talk about each one. So let's have, that one's kind of looking, Justice card is falling out of that. So looking maybe for some clarity on something, some justice in a situation. Can I have 1 card for temptation? You have the 2 of Wands in reverse. Sometimes I got to really look at the pictures of those. Letting go. Can I have 1 card for letting go, please? You have the 7 of Cups in reverse. And this discover your life purpose. Let's move these over just a bit. 1 card for discovering your life purpose here, which is your future. You have the 4 of Wands in reverse. And how about the victim consciousness? 1 card for that. All right, so I'm going to pull this one out because it will not let me shuffle. You have the Page of Wands. All right, so let's look at, first of all, before we get into the clarifiers, I'm going to look at the origin of the situation right here. So you have temptation number 19. And I'm just going to I won't read the whole thing, but we're just going to get a little bit of information on what's going on with temptation. So this is the origin of the situation. And let me just give you a look at that. It is in reverse, like I said, and now it's on the floor. So you can take a look at that in an upright position. I just read a little bit here. Life is full of temptations, and right now you are being asked to choose the higher path. So, you need to prove that you are worthy and important your need to prove that you are worthy and important is clouding your true purpose and tempting you to make wrong decisions. So become aware of what is happening in your life right now. Are you feeling bored in a relationship and looking for something outside of your partnership instead of being honest and working on the challenges that you are experiencing or moving on? Is there a work opportunity that is tempting you to act without integrity in order to get ahead? Are you using money as an excuse not to follow your heart? This is very interesting that it's focused on your it was in reverse, so like I said, it's something that you really need to focus on. And it's very interesting that this is focusing on your purpose, because you had over here for your future is discover your life purpose in reverse. So definitely I'm seeing that this is a little bit about, kind of a call here to go towards your life purpose, but I think there's some areas of your life right now that you need to look at, that you need to choose the higher path. Maybe there's some areas of your life where you're feeling like you need to prove your worthiness and your importance and sometimes that will distract us from going towards what we need to, choosing the higher path, if we're all caught up in our worthiness and trying to prove our worthiness or our importance. And so the Two of Wands right beside it, the tarot clarifies that. And the Two of Wands is definitely a card of, I think you're underneath all of this that we're talking about, your sense of worth and other things that maybe are pulling you, these temptations that are pulling you away from your purpose. Underneath that is the Two of Wands, and if you notice that this woman that's peering over the globe right here, it's almost like she's peering over her smaller world and realizing that there's something bigger out there for herself. But because this is in reverse, this tells me that I think you're feeling the nudge, but there's something else right now. The origin of the situation, like it says, the past is that, well, you're feeling the nudge, but there is sort of this temptation that's pulling you back. And it's interesting because on this healing journey, we can go 2 steps out and then be pulled back again. It's not something, we're not perfect. This isn't a perfect journey. We're all human. And I think we have to realize that sometimes we fall back into our old patterns, our old habits, and we have to get up again. We got to pull ourselves up. We have to move on. And maybe that's what's happened with you, where you're being pulled back again. So let me just get some clarifiers from what's for this Two of Wands right here. A couple of clarifiers to see. Just to get more clarity here for Capricorn's past situation. And there we go. All right, so you got the 4 of Cups and the 6 of Wands in reverse. All right, so the 4 of Cups talks about this individual that's sitting here under this tree lined up with the 3 of Cups. And there's another offer, and I see that offer as almost like the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is really a offer from the universe. It's a gift from the universe that's saying, here's another cup. Cups speak about our emotions, our desires, our wishes, right? And I very much see that. I think you very much, and this is the past again, so I think there was, could be very recent, where you've just kind of, for your healing journey, you've kind of given up. It's like you've said, well, I've had enough. I'm done. You know what? And sometimes when we the step back that we can take is kind of going, you know what? I'm done. And our ego self can really kick in and tell us that we're done this healing, that we've had enough, and maybe it's been too hard. Maybe you think you're not getting anywhere. Because it's interesting that you got this Two of Wands where you're looking there and you're thinking, you know, of going somewhere, doing something, but then it's in reverse. And so maybe you've kind of quit and you thought, well, this isn't getting anywhere for me. But the universe is saying, no, here you go. Let's go feel on a deeper level. And the healing journey is all about feeling our emotions around this. Like, you know, almost like looking at, okay, where is this coming from? Why have you shut down? Why are you going, I've had enough, I'm giving up? Because the Six of Wands comes here and it's in reverse. And all the sixes in my deck have this duality to it. So it's like on the outside, this individual, it looks like that he is definitely won the war. He has a victory wreath on top of his wand. He has one on his head. It's like a double victory here, right? But it's like a double meaning to me, because if you were to pull that blanket off of this horse, you'd see here what the opposite of this victory is, and that's the loss. What has been lost? This is a card that asks us, what has been lost? And I think for me, this card always talks about grief. Because when we lose something, we need to grieve it. And so I'm wondering here if you there's been something that you've lost. There's been some loss here, whether or not you're aware of it or not. But when we need to, especially grief, when we need to face grief in our life, when we have to grieve our losses, we will be pulled back into our temptations or into our past behaviors because we don't want to do it, right? We don't want to feel that grief. And so I'm seeing that's the past. Now let's look where you are right now. So where are you at right now? And what do you need to focus on right now? Because maybe you're sitting in, well, let's just see where you're sitting before I say anything. Well, there's a letting go card right here is what I'm seeing. So let's take a look at that and what's said about the letting go here. Oh, that's the wrong one. 26. I have these little cheat sheets in here so I can remember what I pulled out here. Letting go. This situation that you're sitting in right now has served its purpose. So you're being challenged to change your point of view and recognize that this particular relationship has run its course. Although you might be afraid to let go, the universe has a new opportunity for you, which will allow you to experience the kind of passion and satisfaction you've always dreamed of. So without even going further, I can see already now that I'm sure you're probably seeing it too, is that this is about a relationship that you need to let go of. And so I think, the temptation part could just really keep us, maybe you've gone back, maybe you're wanting to go back, maybe you keep going back, or maybe you're sitting there wondering, what if this could happen? And sometimes we can dream up things in our head and imagine that, if only this could have happened, and we make it into something that it's not anymore. And I think the most important thing about grieving, because there's some grieving that has to be done in order for you to let go. And I think the most important thing about grieving is that you need to remember is that we need to grieve the relationship that how we thought it could have been, right? And I think we get really caught up in the relationship itself, where we just need to grieve what we thought was supposed to be. And this is what this letting go is all about. Right behind it, you have the Seven of Cups as your card from the tarot that clarifies this letting go. And the Seven of Cups card is my card of, in an upright position, there's so much here coming out of this cup. It's like a big distraction, right? And I feel that you are quite distracted. And that is, again, really, we get caught up in all of our distractions. There's so many different distractions we can have around. I mean, you know, we can have addictions to numb ourselves out. We can keep ourselves very, very busy. We can have all different kinds of distractions so that we don't stay in our body, because that's where our emotions are. That's where the pain is. That's where all that grief is. And so I think you're really keeping yourself distracted. And this is really, my Seven of Cups is a card of dissociation, really. And dissociation is where we stay up in our head, because our emotions aren't up in our head. Our emotions are in our body. And so when we don't want to face our grief, when we don't want to face the sadness and the loneliness of a relationship that we've lost, we will keep ourselves busy so we don't feel. And I'm just going to pull a couple of clarifiers for that. And see, maybe it might tell me a bit about, you know, how you're keeping yourself busy, maybe what you need to focus on right now, presently, because we know that you are very much, you know, up in your head, dissociated. So let me see what cards are going to come out for you here. You have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and let's see if I can get one more card for you. You have the Temperance card coming in sideways. So, the Four of Pentacles with the Temperance here. So the Four of Pentacles is this individual. It's called the Miser card. And he's, the Pentacle is all about our material world, our health. Could be about our self-worth. The Pentacle is the body. It's about grounding. It's about, you know, grounding in your body. It's the earth element. And, excuse me, this particular card, the Four of Pentacles, is a miser. He's holding on. I call this like my attachment card of holding on to something. And notice how he's taken the pentacles and he's really placed them in some really key areas, like his chakra, where he's covering his heart, he's covering his head. Then the bottom of our feet, some real energy centers in our body, really covering them, holding on, really trying to protect himself. And, you know, I think this is you, where you're trying to protect yourself. And I think a big part of this sometimes is realizing, you know, when we were younger and we were in a similar situation where our heart was broken, where maybe we were abandoned or we were rejected. And you can just picture a little kid in the corner just protecting themselves. This is what I'm seeing right here, this Miser card, where you're protecting yourself. And then the Temperance card says, you know, comes in right after it. And I think what you need to focus on is the Temperance speaks about dipping. See how this is? Temperance for me is like a middle ground kind of card, right? It's not too much one way. It's not too much the other. It's like, let's get some middle ground on this. There's obviously a need here for emotions to come out, which we've said about the grief. And because, I mean, there's lots of water here. And whenever there's water on the card, it tells me you're talking about emotions here. And so this angel is just saying, okay, let's just dip our toe just a little bit to see where we can get at this grief. Because I think you need to realize that, you know, you've been trying so hard to block yourself. You've been protecting yourself from going towards this grief, and it's our ego self that does not want us. If there's one emotion that our ego self is afraid of, it's grief. It thinks it's going to eat us alive. It's going to swallow us up. It's like there's this big wall that we're petrified to go towards, because if we go there, if we open up that Pandora's box where there's some grief in there, we're immediately going to shut it down, because it's just like, no, it's too much. We feel that overwhelm. And the universe is saying, well, kind of, you know, just do this a little bit at a time. So what's the possibilities of future possibilities for you? What's the future outcome here if you start to, you know, dip your toe into that water and see, okay, maybe there's some grieving here. Let's grieve the relationship that you thought it could have been. Whether it's an intimate partner, whether it's with a family member, but there's somebody in your life And I think you know who it is that needs to be let go. That's probably caused a lot of pain for you over and over and over again. And in our healing journey, these are the people that just couldn't meet us halfway, couldn't be there for us, couldn't validate us, couldn't support us. And sometimes we know once, we start to heal more and more, we change on a vibration level. There's just no way, they're not aligning with us anymore. And I think that's where you are with this relationship. But in order to let that person go, you need to grieve, right? Because I can see you're still holding on to it with the attachment card. So what's the possibilities of a future outcome? We have discover your life purpose, and we talked about that, but it's in reverse. So definitely, I think it's something that you need to focus on. What's going to happen? I'm going to make a prediction here because we are predicting the future a little bit here. Once you grieve, the reason why we grieve, and what I've learned from my own healing journey, is that grieving is always that one last emotion that we need to get to. So when we're working through anything, right now it's a relationship you're working that you need to let go of, the grief is our destiny. It's the final emotion that we need to get to, and that is the one that kind of opens up everything for us. And I think oftentimes, I know for myself, when I've finally got to the grieving of something, it just opens up something new to come in. Could be clarity. It could be a new direction for you. And I'm seeing here that there's like a life purpose here that's calling for you. So let me just read a bit of your life purpose card here. And start asking yourself, what is the meaning of life? As a soul who is having a physical experience, you are here to grow and learn. You are being asked to immerse yourself in this life by expanding, stretching, and understanding your reasons for being here. Nothing is impossible for a soul who is following her or his destiny. Your guides, angels, and higher self are constantly communicating with you through signs, feelings, people, books, etc. Follow your hunches. You are being given important guidance, which may show up through a strong feeling to travel somewhere, to speak to someone, to attend a seminar, to write, to paint. No matter how far-fetched your inner guidance is, you need to listen right now. That's fascinating, because that's what's here for you if you decide to grieve. If you decide to dip your toe in that water and do some grieving, that's what's here for you. I'll take a couple of clarifiers for this purpose here. Can I have some more information? Let's ask for a little bit more information on the purpose. Just so I can have something for you. I want some more clarity for that. Oh, shoot. Before I do that, you do have the Four of Wands. So I don't want to get into the clarifiers yet. Yeah, the Four of Wands is a victory card. And it's in reverse. So it talks about these individuals that are walking away. It's almost like there's all this confetti falling. It's like, yes, like there's this real victory for you. And it's almost like... it's individuals that are walking away, usually from in the Rider-Waite deck. It's like a stone-walled city in the background. And so I think for me, this is really going to be a victory for you. If you decide to grieve, I think what's going to happen here, you're going to really have found yourself some freedom. The Four of Cups is really, for me, Four of Wands is a card of freedom from control, freedom from this relationship issue that you've been working on here, which has been controlling your life for too long now. And I'm seeing here that this, you're going to taste that freedom. There's something here. It's going to give you so much freedom that you're going to start working toward your life purpose, toward your freedom. So let's ask some more information about your purpose here. A couple more cards. Okay, you have the Devil card, and then you have the Two of Cups. So the purpose here, discovering your purpose. Let's talk a little bit more. Well, you have the Devil card. The Devil card talks about, it's an attachment card. It's for me, because it's a healing channel. It's these individuals that are attached to things, like we can be attached to our addictions. We can be, and I think for you, because the Two of Cups is sitting right behind it, I think for you it's like this releasing. And it's talking about the purpose again, but I just think it's clarifying for me, really, is that there's just going to be, you need to release these attachments, and whatever your situation is, whether it's the addictions that we talked about, or if it's just this attachment that we have to these individuals, and whoever, like I said, it could be intimate, it could be platonic, it could be our family member. It's like, you need to release this hold that they have on you. And there's some real healing, but I think once you start to move towards, once you've grieved and you move towards that purpose, I think it's going to help you release this toxicity that you've been experiencing here around this situation for you. And then you have a beautiful Two of Cups card that comes out, and the Two of Cups speaks about a relationship, but it's not going to be a toxic relationship with another person this time. It's going to be the beginning of a beautiful, intimate, and vulnerable relationship, a very healing, with this Caduceus up here, a healing relationship with yourself. And right now it's in reverse, because I don't think I'm not sure that you realize that in discovering your own purpose, when you start moving towards discovering your own purpose, you're also starting this beautiful relationship with yourself, right? And it's a beautiful journey when you start to go on that part of your life where you're finally finding your purpose is opening up for you. And your purpose could be a small step towards something bigger, because the healing journey, we do small little steps. And so the final card here for the overall message, something you need to understand. Victim consciousness card comes out for you for that. So I think we're going to do a bit of reading for that one. Victim consciousness says, stop blaming others and take responsibility for what you are creating. It's easy to think that life is unfair and point a finger at others. If you hear yourself saying life is unfair, bad things always happen to me, I'm not good enough, nobody cares about me, why me, I can't do what I want to do, then you are losing your power, nourishing your victim aspect and ascertaining your place in the victim club. Your inner victim can stop you from moving forward by creating dramas, making you judge others, telling you that you don't deserve better, and keeping you stuck in a financial rut. You need to build your own internal confidence, self-worth, and courage. Get out of your comfort zone and work on expanding and growing in all areas of your life. And I see that happening for you in this reading. How, you're, like I said, it's really geared towards your purpose. And then you have the Page of Wands right behind it. The Page of Wands is a card that is one. I have 4 pages in the deck, right? So they're my inner children. They represent my inner children. And the Page of Wands is this younger part of you, 4, 5, 6 years old, that has the wand. And the wand is all about our creative purpose. It's all about going in that direction of where we're meant to be. You have a younger part of you that needs healing. You have a part of you that knew who you were supposed to be and what you were supposed to do. And I'm thinking that got shut down when you were younger here. And so that is definitely wanting to come out. And a part of this healing is to heal this victim consciousness and feeling like you don't deserve things and feeling like, why is this happening to me all the time, right? Why do these relationships, why do people shit on me? Things like that. Well, that's like, okay, we grieve all of that. We grieve this relationship, and then we get to move into the next direction. I'll take maybe one more card. Yeah, we have the Six of Cups, which is another one of my inner children card, actually. Six of Cups talks about, in this particular card, it's a 6, so again, it has a duality to it. So this is my giving and my receiving card, and it's like, maybe you're a real people pleaser. Maybe you give and give and give. If we just give in our life, we don't know how to receive. And the same goes for if we're greedy, if we're receiving all the time, we don't know how to give. And so this is a real reciprocal exchange here between these two children here. And I think there's a real need for you to be able to give to yourself. And maybe you've given too much to other people and you haven't been able to receive, because this inner child right here needs healing. And it's time now that you give to yourself rather than to give to other people or other toxic relationships or people that suck us, right? Vampires that will suck energy from us. Yeah, so this is your reading for May, and what I want to leave you with is I just did a really good video that I've done, and it's called My 10 Powerful Lessons That I Learned on my own healing channel, on my own healing journey, and it's on my other channel called Carol Cares. And so I'll leave that at the end for you if you're interested in watching that. And that talks a lot about some of the things I mentioned in here are definitely in there. And I'll give you some things that I've learned on my own healing journey that I've been doing for the last 8 years. So Capricorn, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. I know this is the most difficult journey of your life, the healing journey, but it's the most important one. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.